Where are we in the agenda? Parliamentarian? We're 10 minutes behind. Do we want to stop here? Do we need a motion to do that? No. Okay, we're going to take a break from reference and counsel at this point, and I call up Mr. Robert Hensel. Is that right? For a report.
Thank you. At this time, I call upon Mr. Robert Hensel to give the report on the first ballot for Bishop of the Southeastern Pennsylvania Synod.
The results of the ballot, the first ballot for Bishop for Southeastern Pennsylvania Synod, are as follows. Illegal votes cast, 3. Legal votes cast, 464. Total votes cast, 467. Votes needed to elect, 348. The following people received votes. The Reverend Claire Burkett, 348. Please. You will please take your seats. There are still other results to be read.
She has not been officially elected until I declare it.
Right. Until she is declared elected, she's still one of the candidates. Going down the list. The Reverend Lee Miller, 15 votes. The Reverend Mark Wimmer, 10 votes. Please hold your applause until all names have been read. The Reverend Gordon Simmons, 6 votes. The Reverend Dr. Charles Leonard, 5 votes. The Reverend George Harple, 4 votes. The Reverend Carlton Rogers, 4 votes. The Reverend Dr. John Bernstein, 3 votes. The Reverend Patricia Davenport, 3 votes. The Reverend Dr. Carl Kruger, 3 votes. The Reverend Ray Miller, 3 votes. The Reverend Carl Richard, 3 votes. The Reverend Christopher Widener, 3 votes. The Reverend Paul Zander, 3 votes. The Reverend Nancy Brown, 2 votes. The Reverend Michael Carlson, 2 votes. The Reverend Christopher France, 2 votes. The Reverend Dr. Cynthia Kramas, 2 votes. The Reverend David Muir, 2 votes. The Reverend Paul Neff, 2 votes. The Reverend Bruce Todd, 2 votes. The Reverend Danny Bodine, 1 vote. The Reverend Harold Chadi, Makesh, I always blow your name, Chadi, 1 vote. The Reverend Susan Erickson, 1 vote. The Reverend Kim Geiser, 1 vote. The Reverend Daniel Cruson, 1 vote. The Reverend Stuart Luce, 1 vote. The Reverend Ellen Meisinger, 1 vote. The Reverend Timothy Poston, 1 vote. The Reverend William Schaefer, 1 vote. The Reverend Henrik Sontag, 1 vote. The Reverend William Vanderslice, 1 vote. The Reverend Amy Ruman, 1 vote. The Reverend Donna Deal, 1 vote. The Reverend James Wilson, 1 vote. The Reverend Sherman Hicks, 1 vote. And I'm going to take a point of personal privilege, if I may. That vote came in the following way. That pastor that's on the podium directing the election. The Reverend Rafael Mapica Padilla, 1 vote. And the Reverend Angela Powell, 1 vote.
So you see, it did pay to say that you can express your vote in any other way if the name doesn't come to mind. I now declare the Reverend Claire Burkett elected Bishop of the Southeastern Pennsylvania Synod for a 6-year term.
Can I say something? Microphone number 3.
Pastor Don Wright, serving Living Word Lutheran Church in Roslyn. I would like to celebrate this election of the church by inviting the house to sing Praise to the Lord the Almighty, hymn 37 in the blue hymn book.
In your pew, in your Mennonite pew?
Yes. "37 in the blue."
Can I take a moment of personal privilege? Is that okay? I'm looking for my Bible. Seriously, I'm looking for my Bible. Here it is. Yes, I have I want to thank all of you, and not only those of you who are here, but the many people who are not here, all the congregations who are represented here in this synod and across the ELCA, our global companions, the McPhersons who are streaming this from Tanzania. This is truly a global church. I want to thank you for your love and your prayers and your support, for your forgiveness, for your truth-telling, even sometimes when I didn't want to hear it, and you know who you are. I have learned over the last 6 years that the synod, any synod, elects a pastor and then forms a bishop. And you have formed me, and you have called me and made me your bishop. And I ask God, Christ, daily to give me his grace so that I will have the strength and the joy to do this ministry each day. 6 years ago, you called me for 6 full years, and the many, many partners in the whole ELCA and our ecumenical partners, our interfaith partners, the social ministry organizations, please know we are embarking on a new world of networks and ways in which we can reach out to one another, and God will multiply our efforts more than we ever could have imagined. No one person can do it. No one synod can do it. No one congregation can do it. No one has all the gifts of the Spirit. No one has everything. And one of the things that I've learned the last 6 years is to accept my own limitations. And as St. Paul says, the power that we have is in earthen vessels. And that is on purpose, so that the power is made perfect by God alone. And so I've been stretched and strengthened in ways I could not imagine, spiritually, emotionally, vocationally, and intellectually, and I have to say at times at the expense of taking care of myself physically. And I do not intend to do that for the second term. And I've learned over 6 years that some crazy things can just wait. So I want to extend to all of you who have been so generous to all of us together. You know, when we do installations, we have everyone stand up, and I want to say thank you to the many, many, many partners who have, we're short-staffed, but we have more staff than we ever had because we're sharing it more than we ever have. Our Synod Council, who, my goodness, the last couple of years have had many, many meetings, and our Executive Committee, especially the President and Vice Presidents of all of our congregations who I've met with, and all the volunteers in our churches who do it because they love Christ and they love the church, our rostered leaders, our deans, the many people, consultants, and people helping with candidacy committee, everyone I've trusted, everyone I've asked for help. I know I'm going to forget someone, but please forgive me. I love you all, and it's been a joy. Special thank you, though, I have to say, to our Synod staff, who have been through a lot, and all of us together, and I could not have done this without the Synod staff, and I'd like the Synod staff to please come forward if you can. Pat, Bob, Joanne, Molly's in North Dakota at the funeral of her grandmother, Carol Ann, Yvonne, Debbie, Bill, Cinta, Judy, whoever's here, please come forward and thank our staff. 6 words, though, I'll leave you with. It's God's mission. Jesus is Lord. The Holy Spirit guides us. Thank you. Where are we on the agenda? Just give me a moment. What? Okay. So we're at the point of hey, my goodness, it's right on time. Consideration of the 2013 budget, and for this I ask the Reverend Chris Widener, Chairperson of the Finance Committee,